Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to another episode of Life After Infidelity, where we are removing the shame of your decision to leave or stay. Because whether you leave or stay, both decisions will be hard. And I am here to help you navigate your heart. And so, listen, y'all, I am playing with so much. I'm playing with introductions, I'm playing with life lifing, okay. And that's what this episode is about, and I am just going to get right into it. I don't even know how long this episode is going to be. I don't even know like what I'm going to say. I will say this. I'm going to allow God to use me in this episode. And I am pulling up my phone too because so here's the thing. Last night, oh yes, you guys, I am starting a blog. So with that being said, I'm starting it. I don't know, it's through my website. So if you go to lifeafterinfidelity.net and click on blog, just read the blogs, y'all. Like, I'm so excited. And actually, every blog is going to accompany a podcast episode. And so this is what has prompted this podcast episode. Y'all, I'm on, if you're listening to this now, we're in January of 2025, honey. And I'm on a fast. And our church did a 21-day fast. But I decided to do all of January. So I am on a 31-day fast, honey. And it is, doing what it's supposed to do. Let me say that much. Ooh, I don't even know where to start, but it is doing what it is supposed to do. And y'all, it's crazy because it is the 26th of January. And now, okay, I'm an avid sweet tea drinker, but not just like, don't be telling me to go to HTO or Chick-fil-A. Like, don't be trying to get me to go to any of these other places. I drink warm tea, but when I talk about avid tea drinker, I'm talking about sweet tea, honey, with the ice. Iced sweet tea with no lemon. Okay? Period. And it has to be from McAllister's. So I don't want y'all thinking like you're being sweet to me and you're like, Brie, I thank you so much for all that you do. And you send me a golden chick or chicken express gift card to go get a sweet tea. Baby, it's McAllister's, okay? So if you love me, make sure it's McAllister's. All right. Anything else is hate language. Um, but okay, so I'm actually on my 25th day because I did. Ooh, it was calling me on the 1st of January. So I am actually going from January the 2nd through February the 1st. So I have 6 more days left, and these last 6 days of this sweet tea. When I tell y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm going to McAllister's. I have a tea pass. Let me tell y'all. This is how bad it is. I have a tea pass. You buy the tea pass monthly. It's $8 a month. $8.65 or $8.67 with tax. You buy it every month and you get one free sweet tea a day. Okay? So, mind you, I got my sweet tea pass monthly subscription, but I'm also gonna buy a gallon. And I know y'all don't judge me. Listen, we listen. Y'all know the rest, but we don't judge. I'm going in there, okay? And I'm going to tell the person at the counter to activate my sweet tea pass and give me my free sweet tea. But then on top of that, add me a gallon. And then it's already in my calendar, my God, that I am going to Texas Roadhouse and I'm going to get those rolls. Yes, I'm going to get those rolls with that butter, that cinnamon butter, and another sweet tea with no lemon. All right. So listen, y'all. I tell y'all that to say this. This is why I'm doing this podcast episode, as I am preparing to enter back into the social media space. Last night I was writing a blog to kind of like my re-entry back into social media, and basically I was talking about how I've been in a season of winning, y'all. When I say winning, I mean God is showing out in my life. Do you hear me? Like, let's go through it. Student loans forgiven. Okay. Life after infidelity. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Life After Infidelity, this time last year, was being streamed in 18 countries, and now it is being streamed in 46 freaking countries. Yeah, I had to put my Oprah Winfrey on for that. Okay. What else? My podcast was nominated for Best of Black Dallas in the podcast category. Yeah. Ooh, child. Mm, mm, mm. My student loans were forgiven. And if I had time to tell you the story, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all the story real quick. So I'm in this process of working on my credit and all of this type of stuff, right? And so this particular day, I had just left the gym, and I was just like, checking my credit score, or whatever, and I was like, I noticed that my credit score had went up 36 points, and I was like, okay, I know I'm paying off stuff, but I haven't paid off nothing that would make it go up 36 points, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just like baffled, and I'm going in and out of my credit score, in and out of my credit score, trying to see like what's going my credit report actually. I'm going in and out of my credit report, trying to figure out like, yo, what's going on? And then it dawned on me, y'all. Whew, Lord, them student loans was no longer into the debt that I owe. Mm. And I am so grateful for that. So needless to say, I have two more items on my credit and I will be 100% debt free. And mind you, um, in August of last year, I ref volleyball on the side. I played it. I love the sport. I didn't want to get out of it. So I ref it on the side. It's fun. Um, During that time in August, I had a whole anxiety attack on the ref stand where I was crying and everything because I was so overwhelmed with like all of this debt I was in. And a lot of it was good debt because it was things that I had invested in for the business and things like that. And I was just overwhelmed with how I was going to get it done. But listen, here's the thing. When you truly learn to pray and give it to God, baby, that thing just works its way out. I look up now and I'm like, I don't even know how. So I ended up paying off about 20 something thousand in debt in 2024, and I'm so blessed and just grateful for that. So yes, I have won a host of awards, got inducted into the Counseling Honor Society, which is super excited. I did get back on the dating platforms, which that's what we're going to talk about in this episode today. What else? God has just done so many amazing things. Oh, got a raise, y'all. But wait a minute, got a promotion. And the raise, when they came back to give me my offer, it was more than what I was asking God for. So they were kind of coming back like, yo, this is what we can offer. And I'm like, well, in my mind, I'm like, God, this is more than what I have been praying to you for. And I'll be at this area that is closer to my job, my house, sorry. So God is just working out in me. Podcast is doing amazing. Like I said, we are now being streamed in 46 countries from 18. We've had exponential growth, of course, getting them meta checks. I just got one this past week, which was amazing. And so, yeah, so when you talk about, oh, yeah, lost weight, got down to 10, lost 10 pounds. I was going to say got down to 10 pounds. Yeah, I'd be worried about me. And I probably wouldn't even be here if I was down to 10 pounds. But y'all, I lost 10 pounds and baby, your girl is looking fine. Okay. Her arms are arms in. She did lose her booty a little bit, but I'm gonna get that back. And then my stomach was stomaching, honey, flat. You can see some of the abs coming in. Like, I'm blessed. I'm living a blessed life. But in the midst of all of these blessings, I found myself in a spirit of darkness and heaviness and depression, and I couldn't really figure out why. And that's why I'm really grateful for this fast that I'm on because it has brought me so much clarity. And when I talk about darkness, like I would honestly say I probably gained like maybe about 500 pounds back, but that's also because I've been having withdrawals from this sweet tea, and there is nothing I can do to fulfill and sustain this taste. And so, yeah, like anywho, but like where there's heaviness, where it's hard for me to get out of the bed, and it was hard for me to go to the gym and work out, and I love working out, and it was hard for me to just stay focused and even be present and enjoy all of the blessings that God was giving me. And so it was during this time that I chose to take off social media from my fast. And here's one of the reasons why. And this, I started Brene Brown's book, Daring Greatly. And in it, she's talking about vulnerability. And so for me, it was really hard for me to record this episode and to even write the blog, because I was like, God, this is the work that I do, And so it's it's embarrassing for me to come on here and tell y'all I'm struggling, but yet and still I'm helping people, get over these things. But the book is saying, like, we have to, and I tell my clients this: remove the shame. And so I am removing the shame. And so one of the reasons why I took social media off was because I found myself in this comparison space that was making me really, really low, really, really empty, really, really depleted and defeated. And so I knew that it was time for me to step back. And my time spent on social media had increased drastically. Like, that addiction began to worsen. And so that was part of where this heaviness came in, because I'm doing what I tell people not to do. I'm comparing my lives to other people who are further along than me, or who appear to have things better than me, and just not being patient and believing and trusting in God's timing and the purpose and the calling that He has over my life. And so that's one of the reasons why I had a lot of this heaviness, right? And I had to sit and acknowledge that. And so I made the decision to get off of social media, and I mean all platforms. Okay, and it's crazy because I know people fronting on social media, because the same people who be in my inbox are the same ones who are posting their partners on social media as if they're happy and in loving relationships. So I know firsthand, and here I am. So yeah, that's that. Um, but during my time of prayer and meditation and solace, um, it came upon me that I was still grieving my ex-husband. And here's what I was grieving. And I'm not saying grieving him like I'm over him, like I've moved on from that. But I found myself grieving the fact that he never apologized. Now, granted, I blocked him from everything. As soon as I made the decision to move forward, I had to remove myself and go no contact with all of his family. But it still was that lingering of, like, the ability to have no closure, and just all of the hurt that he put me through. And if you aren't familiar with my hurt, actually go listen to my first episode, titled "I Let My Husband Cheat for 5 Years." But I found myself just in this space of heaviness and grief, because he didn't ask for forgiveness and he didn't apologize, you know. And so I had to sit with that. But here's what transpired. So I'm really feeling myself, like I'm having all of these wins. I'm feeling confident and excited. And I go to this dating class, because I know, like, my job is to help women overcome infidelity. I'm not a dating coach. I can't tell you. All I can do is tell you how to heal, so you can remove uh, those traumas and not let that be impacted, that baggage carry over into the next relationship. So I got you all day, every day. on how to heal from infidelity, baby, because I have done that thing beautifully. And yes, even though I am talking about going through a time of grief right now, um, grief comes in waves. Grief comes and goes. Grief ebbs and flows. And I was talking to my sister friend. I think she's Ivory because I'm Ebony. So it's Ebony and Ivory. And she was just like, the beautiful thing about grief is that you can't tell it when to come and you can't tell it when to go. It's going to show up most of the time when you least expect it, but you never know when it's going to show up. But yes, so this grief has hit me, and how it transpired is, like I told you, I was feeling really good. I was having all these wins, and I went to this dating class, and so she convicted me on some stuff that she said. I was like, dang, I am that person that has a lot of walls up. Okay. And so I was like, okay, I need to work on that more, because that has been something that has been consistent in my dating experience. It's just people saying, you're very guarded. But I've never truly felt safe re-entering the dating scene. Like all the people that have tried to get to know me, I haven't truly felt safe with them. And so there's that, right? And that's why my guard is up. Like my guard is up because I haven't felt safe in those relationships. But I got on the dating apps. I got on fake. Should I say it? I don't know. But I got on two apps or whatever. And so, long story short, I met some really great guys. And I met two that were like my front runners. And one was just telling me how amazing I was and how I was checking off all the boxes for him because he was intentionally looking for a wife and all of this stuff. And I was so happy and I was so excited. And then the man ghosted me and ghosted me the same day that he told me all that. Like, but I'm like, okay, that doesn't have anything to do with me, right? So I'm telling myself all this stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It's with him, blah, blah, blah. So then, of course, since he falls off, then the one who was actually the number two, he comes up to the number one. Anyways, long story short, we enter into this relationship, and I call it a 24-hour relationship. We enter into a 24-hour relationship, and he is just toxic from the start, and I knew it. I saw all of these red flags, and I just continued to push through, push through, push through. And so, long story short, after I, was like, hey, this isn't going to work out. And here's what I'll say too about that. I am proud of myself for making the decision in 24 hours when I normally would not have had the courage to make that decision 6 weeks, 6 months out. So it shows me my growth, right? And here's the thing. I want you guys to be compassionate with yourself and give yourself grace, because you have to look at, we're all growing and we're all evolving. And when a situation reoccurs, if you respond differently, faster than how you have previously, that's growth, right? Because it shows that you're learning. It shows that you're seeing the value in who you are and your worth and your boundaries, right? And so I had to remember that, like, give myself credit for making the decision, even though I had seen all the red flags. But after that 24 hours, when I was like, no, this isn't a safe space for me, actually moving on and moving forward. And one of the reasons that, here's why I blocked him. I blocked him. And I blocked him because he's talked to me in a certain way. And when we are dealing with infidelity, I think some people feel like, oh, well, if she's dealing with infidelity, like she can accept certain things because this behavior isn't as bad as cheating on her, right? And I find that people think they can do certain things to me because I have been cheated on, and I'll take that because it's not infidelity. But here's the thing. you're not going to disrespect me either. Right. And so we have to know our boundaries, know our limitations. And that's what that was, y'all. So, anyways, I went out to brunch with one of my friends, and she's a therapist. And so I was telling her about this 24-hour relationship I was in. And she was like, well, why did you um, continue to pursue this when you saw all of these red flags? And, I'm giving some bogus answer, but she's a therapist, so she can read right through it. And so, long story short, she finally made me come out and say, like, you need to go back to therapy for your ex-husband because there's parts of you that haven't healed from that. And my response to her was the reason why I had stayed with this person was um, out of desperation, of feeling like I'm 37. They already say black women, are the least desirable of any race of women to get married. And so I found myself choosing to continue on with this relationship, even though I saw these red flags out of desperation. But also it was out of insecurity. Um, Insecurity had found a way to creep back in to my life, and it was a reminder that my ex chose somebody else over me. And I don't know if he stayed with them, but what I'm saying is, like, he couldn't stop. And so it was just this reminder. It made me feel like I wasn't beautiful enough. It made me feel like, or I'm not beautiful at all. Like, I'll be honest with you, that is one of the things that I'm grappling with, is this insecurity of feeling like I'm beautiful. Like, that's a thing. And it feels so good to actually say that out loud right now. Like, yeah, hey, I'm Brianna and I am insecure about my looks. But it's so empowering. It takes away this mask that we all have been wearing. It takes away the shame from this. And this is my reality. But these are the things that my clients go through all the time. And I have been praying to God to remind me what that felt like, because I've been so far removed from it. What my clients are feeling, that sometimes I forget, like when it comes to making content and stuff like that, how it actually feels. Like, I hear it from them, but then I forget for myself. And so it was very eye opening to me. And I'm not gonna say eye opening, it was healing for me, because I hadn't said that to anybody in a while outside of my life coach. That, yeah, I'm insecure, and I'm in a space of desperation now, where I'm getting out in these dating platforms and I'm getting ghosted, or I'm just not really finding the person that I am truly interested in, or I get with somebody and they are hella toxic. And so, I found myself in that. And so that's what led me to writing this podcast, or getting on here to talk about this podcast. And actually, I'm going to look at a few of my notes, because I really don't know if I have anything to share outside of the fact that um, don't be ashamed of where you are. Don't be ashamed of, if you feel like, man, I've been going through this for 5 months, a year, 3 years, I should be further along in my healing. You actually are further along in your healing. But grief comes, grief goes, and it ebbs and it flows. And so grief is unexpected. Like, it's just gonna pop up, and there, it always takes something to trigger it. And for me, it was getting back out in the dating field and having these experiences, but this one particular experience that was super toxic. I think it was just a reminder for me of, like, okay, this ain't healthy, and there are some things that attracted you. And this person actually was telling me, like, he was insecure and he had rejection issues and stuff like that. And so that let me know too, like, okay, those are some of my core wounds as well. And so that's what I am attracting and why I am attracting those things. Unpacking weakness. So unpacking my weakness, shame, fear, and insecurity. You know, the reason why I'm sharing this podcast again is because society's pressure to stay strong, and admitting a weakness makes it feels like it's a failure. And I struggled with that. I struggled with coming on here and being transparent with y'all. I struggled with coming on here and being authentic. And it's beautiful because one of the things that I am learning through all of this is how to be authentic, right? Um, I was on the phone with one of my brothers. I call him my brother. He called me last night, and he made this comment. He was like, "Is this how you are in your relationships?" And I was like, "Yeah," but it felt good in that light, because a lot of the times I put on this facade, like, and I am initially genuinely a quiet person and things like that, but this time of reflection is allowing me to come into my being. Like, you probably have seen just the energy in this podcast is different from other energies that I have, because typically hold on, y'all, I'm choking. Typically I'm like stoic and professional, right? But now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring you all of me and let y'all accept that. Oh, and then there was this other guy, and he just told me, like, I had severe walls up, and that, it would take him a lot of time to spend with me and all that stuff. Like, if we were to move forward, he was like, I know that it would take a lot of patience and time for you to get comfortable with me because of the walls that you have. And that made me feel bad about myself too. But here's what I'm embracing. Even I am working on me, right? I am working on learning how to become more vulnerable. But here's the thing. There's give and take in relationships. And if and a lot of the times the reason why our guards are up is because we don't feel safe, or you haven't uh qualified yourself enough for me to let my guards down. So here's what I want to say to you. When people tell you things, take it with a grain of salt. Take whatever they tell you with a grain of salt. And don't let it impact you, and don't be defined by it. That's what I'll say. I think that all of the stuff that I had went through during this season, I had let that define me. But now what I am doing is I am taking their definitions, in air quote, when I say definitions, I'm taking how they have defined me, and I am looking at the symptoms or the characteristics or the traits of those or the behaviors of those, and what those behaviors are stemmed from, and I am choosing to work on those, right? So I don't feel safe with people and my guards are up. However, a part of me is an exchange of me being more authentic when I am meeting people, right? And so that's why I'm saying, do not be defined by people, but take their definition and look at what the symptoms or the issues are from their so-called definition, and look at what the roots of those are and heal those. Um, and you know what, y'all? I wanted to keep this short and sweet. And the beautiful thing is, last week, y'all, I got to see Issa. She's my bestie in my head. She knows it. Well, not really, but she will one day. But we went to Houston, Texas last week, and we went to see Issa Rae Saturday night, and then Friday night we went to, like, it was Slim Thug, Scarface, Mike Jones, Zero. I want to name somebody else, but I think I'm gonna be I think it's like Devin the Dude, Devin the Kid. Anywho, I didn't really want to go, but my cousins was like, well, if we're going to see Issa, we want to go see this one. So yeah, so we had fun, y'all. But we went to Pastor Joel Osteen's church, Lakewood, and they gave us these really cool devotionals for free. It's a 365-day devotional. And so I want to read this one little line for tomorrow's devotional, actually. And I love the alignment of how God works, because I was thinking I was reading today's devotional, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is lining up with everything. I got to do the podcast record tonight. But it's the wrong day. So I had to go back and read Sunday. But listen, this is what it says. It says, where do I want to start? You have an assignment. Somebody needs what you have. Somebody needs your love. Somebody needs your smile. Somebody needs your gifts. Yes, you have scars, but the scars don't disqualify you. The scars prepare you to help others. They're a reminder of how God brought you through, and He'll bring them through as well. And, that's just really what I want to tell you guys. Some of the things that I've been reflecting on, and you'll see it even in the blog that I talk about, is a couple of my favorite scriptures, but this one in particular is His power is made perfect in weakness. And basically, when it also says, when I am weak, He is strong, right? And cast all your cares on Him, for He cares for you. And here's the thing: His power is made perfect in weakness means that God is here to be your strength. But first, you've got to admit that you are weak so that He can come in and be the strength for you. And that is what this episode is really all about. If you are weak, admit your weakness. God will honor that, and God will come alongside you, and He will be strong for you. So stop trying to carry all of the weight on your shoulders. Stop trying to hide behind perfection. Stop trying to hide behind the fact that you got it all together. None of us do. Stop trying to hide behind the facade that you got it all figured out and life is good. God is waiting on you to tell Him that you are weak so that He can come and walk alongside you, because He loves you and He cares for you. And that is what He wants for you. And He knows the desires of your heart. And so here's the thing: be open to actually saying exactly how you feel. Be open to being vulnerable with God. Be open to just expressing those things with Him, and He is going to make you that much stronger. Listen, beautiful people. I don't know where that came from. I'm about to get out of here, but I am so excited for all of us in 2025. I am so excited for the growth that Life After Infidelity is about to experience in 2025. And do me a favor: I need your help in growing this platform and getting this word out here. The fact that my baby is not even 2 years old and it is already being streamed in 45 countries tells me something. It tells me that people are hurting and they need this message. So do me a favor, leave me a comment and just encourage me to keep pushing through. Also, like it and share this episode with somebody else, okay? Listen, again, my name is Brianna LaTrice. I am your favorite affair recovery coach, helping you to remove the shame of your decision to leave or stay, because both decisions will be hard. And I am here to help you navigate your heart. I love you, beautiful, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.